Hi Montana, day 23 of the legislature. This morning in Business and Labor, we spent some time looking at the problem of contractors who kind of come in after a hailstorm, do repairs on folks' houses and roofs, and then are gone before they can fix their mistakes or finish their repairs. So we're working on that issue. The sportsmen were in the rotunda today. They fed us a barbecue lunch and spent some time talking about their issues. It was great to see them. We had a variety of bills on the House floor today. We passed a bill to assist in or intervene in or plan for the closure of the coal-fired facilities in Colstrip. Those words were in the title of the bill. So we are working in a bipartisan fashion to help the families in Colstrip. We passed a bill to revise and update the 911 laws in Montana. We passed a bill that requires suicide prevention for nurses. One member on the House floor stood up and said, "I'm going to vote against this because pastors and coaches and everybody else should be working on this issue together." I totally agree that pastors and coaches and nurses and doctors and parents on down the list should all be working on suicide prevention together as a community. I also think that we can take one step toward making a difference with our terrible suicide problem by training people. So it's just that kind of backward thinking that keeps Montana from moving forward to solve problems like suicide prevention. We passed bills allowing for dual enrollment in community college, to fund our public libraries, to continue the prescription drug registry, and a bill on paddlefish caviar, of all things. I presented a bill this afternoon to try to keep patients from ending up with these surprise bills where you have insurance, you have picked a doctor that your insurance is going to pay for, and you have a procedure, and then all of a sudden get this bill out of the blue that you had maybe an anesthesiologist or someone who actually isn't covered by your insurance, and you weren't given the option to opt out or to choose someone who your insurance would pay for. You get stuck with the surprise bill. I presented that to Health and Human Services this afternoon, and we'll see what they do with it. In education this afternoon, the bill to fund gifted and talented education got tabled on a party line vote. I understand the worry about the budget, but we can sit on the bills for as long as we want to. I think tabling them is very drastic, and when we understand what the budget looks like and what has been passed and hasn't been passed, I think would be a more appropriate time to look at these bills. On a more sour note, the Education Committee on party lines tabled the bill that provides funding to schools who are educating 19-year-old students. So we talked about this before. There are students in Montana who turn 19 their senior year. They want to get their diploma. Their schools don't receive funding for them. And so there are some places where students have to age out, it's called, of school and do something else, like get an equivalency degree. Montana, that committee, this legislature has no excuse to not fund education for every single student who is working towards their high school diploma. One member on the committee said that he was going to vote to table this bill because parents of first graders are holding their kids back so that they can have a kid with an athletic advantage in their senior year. He accused public school parents of thinking that they're each raising the next NFL quarterback. That's shameful. There's no reason to not fund education for 19-year-olds who are wanting to get their high school diploma. So, a lot of good work today. We're agreeing on lots of issues, but some really key places where we fundamentally disagree on the issues. And I'm going to keep talking about them. I'll see you tomorrow.